Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Stevie Ray hanging with my main man, Mr. Angel Corona. Angel, what's going on? Every Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here in Houston, Texas, in the greater Midtown area above one of the most glorious restaurants in the Houston area.
Yeah, they got some pretty good seafood in here, right? Some good drinks and good seafood. We're talking about Midtown Bar and Grill.
Midtown Bar and
Literally
Grill.
The heart of Houston.
Yes, the heart of Houston, in the heart of Houston, Texas, right in the Midtown area. Man, you know, we haven't been on television, and we haven't been on radio, and we haven't been on video for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Because, you know, your boy been doing some other things.
Yeah, a lot. You know, your boy, you know, I got
Even
some other
though
things
we
cooking in the
don't
fire.
like to admit it.
You know, I just can't be sitting around like that. I know I'm the fences of the world.
Right,
you
like
know,
the Ralph
okay.
Coopers of the
Of
world.
the
The guys
Ralph
has an
Coopers.
ego the size of Texas.
Yeah, size of Texas, and that's big. Speaking of the great, you know how big that is.
Right.
Who we both know miles. You can see Texas from the moon. You know what I'm saying? That's how big his ego is. Do you know Ralph is going into the, I think it's the Texas Radio Hall of Fame?
Really?
Yes.
That's well deserved for Ralph.
Yes.
Ralph is a staple in the Houston radio community. I mean,
Yes.
that guy's he's been standing up talking sports since what, the 70s, something like that,
Yeah, I
60s.
think the 70s.
I mean,
Yeah.
the guy has only had one occupation, and that's talking radio.
And he can't even do that very well. But be that as it may, I grew up listening to Ralph.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to Ralph, and it was a pleasure finally getting a chance. You know, I used to go in and do his show for years.
Yeah. You guys would put the punching gloves on and go at each other.
You know, he tried to put the come on now, Angel. I mean,
he had those little kitty ones, and you had the brass knuckles.
brother.
You just beat him up every single time.
we both did.
Yeah, we haven't even got to that.
He put some light years in his ears.
I put the guy on I rejuvenated. He was rejuvenated.
That's right. Yeah.
A quote unquote reprieve.
Yeah. I mean, he was ready to chalk it up right before we arrived.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was packing his bags, him and his wife, and they were going to go on a camping trip. You know what I'm saying? I think they had the car, the station wagon, and
Everything packed
They
up.
had the trailer and everything, and they want to go see the, parts of the country. But after the reprieve that we gave him, I called him up. This is what I did. He got a new step in life, man.
Yeah, he did.
And now he's in the Ralph Hall of Fame.
Look at that.
Well deserved. Even though he wasn't there for mine. Okay? I'm going to look over there.
Well, to be fair, WWE wouldn't allow him to be in the building. They don't want to.
I want to pay for him to bring the building.
They want some great. They want some.
Even though he couldn't stay where I was staying, you're right about
Yeah.
that. But I would have paid him for him, a good room at the Holiday Inn, He could have came and supported his
Yeah, I
bar.
got some
He
free
didn't do it.
breakfast. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you how big a man I am. I'm going to tell you how Stevie Ray rolls. This is the way he rolls. I said, brother, when is it? Because I'm going to be there. That's what I told him. I said, your boy is going to be there. But you know what he told me? Hopefully they're going to have it, period.
Yeah, because if you're going into the Hall of Fame, you don't want no virtual Hall of Fame. I want the real deal. You know, I want all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, that's what I would want too. The bells and the whistles.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had to let you leave we had on the show.
Yeah, we've
before.
had Lee on the show.
And, he's a crew chief, been a crew chief for years in drag racing. He went into the Hall of Fame last year. And I was going to be there with the COVID thing. They did it during the COVID thing. But well deserved on his end also. So, man, the rewards, the community service, that's what a lot of us have in common, man. A lot of us have that in common, Angel.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph has covered. I mean, we talk about some very big fights. I mean, he's covered Muhammad Ali, the Rumble in the Jungle, right? He's covered.
Something.
A lot of. We call it the Oilers. He's covered the Astros. I mean, the Texans when they just started up. I mean, the guy's been there. And
Now
done
let's
that.
get back to that Rumble in the Jungle.
Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah.
Let's get back to that. Now, Ralph told us that he was there.
Apparently, there's a picture of him with hair, with a little mini fro. I don't know if it was, you can't pinpoint the location, but he showed me a picture one time. He said, I was there, and it had a picture of him, talking to somebody. I don't know who.
Are you sure that picture wasn't superimposed the same way they did Lee Harvey Oswald?
To be fair, the picture was black and white.
See?
So
if it was in the 70s, it should have been in color.
that's a good point.
And we sure that somebody doesn't have one of those dark rooms
Right.
where they can alter things. But I got to take him at his word.
Mhm.
I have to take him at his word. He was there, and he did tell us a couple of stories. I think was Mr. Baseball.
I think he packed his bags with Mr. Baseball, and Mr. Baseball somehow was granted access to go inside the Rumble in the Jungle.
And that's what I don't understand. How did those two guys get passports to Zaire? How did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there was no checklist.
Chicago, Houston's own.
Sunnyside.
Sunnyside, Texas. Sunnyside, part of Houston. That he will not give up on. He won't give up on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I
Yeah.
think we should crash.
We just need the location and the time, and we'll definitely crash
This is
it.
what I'm going to do. Because we're going to have to go over to the radio show, of which he still works,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and we're going to crash the party.
Let's do it. Yeah.
No. I'm not
Let's
letting
just
him
drop
get
in
off.
there. Let's just drop in there,
Yeah.
unguarded. The door's
Right.
wide open.
Yeah.
And surprise him. He's probably talking about, I don't know, back in 1988, there was a baseball game that
Yeah, he
happened,
probably-
and,
yeah, exactly.
and the glove popped off, or
Yeah,
some beer was spilled on the cheerleader,
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
He's probably talking about something like that. You know what we're going to do? We're going to come and just take the show over. No. I'm going to make sure of this, and it's going to happen within the next couple of weeks.
Let's do it.
It's going to happen. And I'm going to have, right now, I got some listeners from Instagram that's following us right now. I'm going to have them on, or I'm going to have some Facebookers on, or I'm going to have some YouTubers on. You know I'm getting ready to go live on YouTube here shortly. Very shortly. So, that's what we're going to do. And I want the whole world, I'm going to expose this guy for what he really is. I'm going to expose him. That's what I'm going to do. Mr. Ralph Cooper, my friend, my ex-colleague, who you did your intern with.
That's right, yeah.
Who, when we first met, what was that, 4 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
we got to crash this party.
We got to crash the party.
Hey, you know, we might find we might give him a second juice again, like we did before. You know that reinvention of Ralph Cooper.
You think we should give him an extra adrenaline rush?
Yeah. He probably needs it.
You know something? You might be right. We need to help put him back on the map. He's on the map, but he could be further up on the map.
That's right.
You know, out of the goodness of our hearts. I think that's what we should do. Yeah. We're going to choose a day, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to bum rush the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about. But we haven't had a chance to talk about it for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of football going on. I mean, they're trying to juggle that around. That's a nightmare in itself, but it's still going.
We haven't had a chance to talk about O'Brien.
Yeah, your boy, who you've been saying for I don't know how many years since I've met you, get rid of this guy. And what did they finally do? They finally listened to Stevie Ray, and they fired him.
But you know something?
Gave him the can.
You know something?
What's that?
I had actually started to have a soft spot in my heart.
For O'Brien?
I'm changing as a human being. I'm not as cynical as I used to be. Apparently, I'm changing. You remember in the movie, the part of the movie with Three Girls and started to sing. And you remember Jennifer Hudson changing she was looking at her ways and changing. I think I'm going through that in my life right now. I've already went through my midlife crisis.
Yeah.
I think I'm changing.
I know. You're being nice to Ralph Cooper. You're giving him congratulations.
Yeah.
Now you're saying you feel you have a soft spot for Bill O'Brien. I mean, what's next, Stevie Ray?
I had a thought. What I'm saying is this. Let me explain to the people out there. At the time, I wanted him to try to redeem himself from every dumb thing that he ever done that nobody liked, that nobody can even make any excuses for.
Right. Yep.
Like
There's a long list of that.
Jadeveon Clowney not being here anymore. And you know what I thought about Clowney. Brown not being here anymore. Excuse me. And then the big whammy. Then he gets rid of arguably one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL.
Right, yeah.
Then I started to ask myself, what's this guy doing? What's really going on? You let DeAndre Hopkins go for a bag of potato chips? Corn chips?
No napkins.
Cereals? And you bring in your own people in the upper office. And then you get rid of the other people. I think the man was trying to do a big power play.
Yeah, he was like, I guess he was watching like Darth Vader or something. Because I mean, the man took over GM, and he was a head coach. And at one point, he was calling the plays. You know, I mean, I'm surprised he actually gave up that power for the play calling.
Which was another bad idea. He was a bad play caller, but I think he gave the plays to an even worse play.
Right? Yeah.
Be that as it may. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to have a few choice words. A few choice words about the former head coach of the Houston Texans, Mr. Bill O'Brien. This is Edge Radio, and we'll be right back.
This is former Rocket Robert Reed.
This is Mel Hewitt of Athletes Unite.
And we want to talk to you about our new program and podcast. We're talking about former athletes who are doing a lot of things in the community.
Various athletes in various sports. Swimming, track, soccer, football, baseball, you name it.
Former and current athletes here in the greater Houston area.
All promoting wellness, health. All promoting that which makes us all better.
Of Edge Radio, truth still matters.
Between the ages of 0 and 5, a child's mind is very impressionable. Researchers call it the theta brainwave. This low frequency is the state of consciousness between the conscious and subconscious worlds. In this state, the mind is capable of deep and profound learning, healing, and growth. There is a subconscious loop that's created during these early years. Who you believe you are has been downloaded based on experiences that you have had. A bad experience could create fears and limitations. Do you love who you are? Do you believe in yourself? The reality is that you can't control your childhood. All you can do is interpret it. You can choose to see your good and your value. Try this experiment. Project forward. See yourself at 80 years old. You have for your younger self. What risks would you have taken? What relationships would you have avoided? Did you celebrate life? Did you allow yourself to feel, to be present? Your 80-year-old self would tell you to not live in fear, to have faith that things will work out, that all you have to do is persist until you succeed. Your 80-year-old self would tell you to stay healthy, to take care of your body. And it would ultimately tell you to share your gifts with the world.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back right here on Edge Radio. This is Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, the radio version, right here with my man, Mr. Angel Corona. And we were just having a few talks about one of our ex-colleagues who we couldn't wait to get away from. No, that was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. That's not really true. Good friend of ours who was going into the Radio Hall of Fame this year, and we were giving him big kudos. But after that, we started to talk about our own Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr.
Bill O'Brien.
Mr. Bill O'Brien.
I don't feel bad for the guy. You know why?
Why?
I mean, the guy has had a 7 years with us? Mm-hmm. He's had a long time to prove himself.
2014.
You look at his record, it's mediocre. His playoff record is not great. Right. I mean, the guy got paid. The guy got every position. I mean, he got promoted to GM.
Right.
Head coach, GM, and you still couldn't get the job done. So, in my opinion, that was a good fire. Get him out of town. He's still getting paid to this day from the Texans for the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's the thing about coaches stuff. All their money is guaranteed.
Yeah.
And they have buyout clauses.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to say it's guaranteed, but they do have buyout clauses.
At least 70% of the money is going to be.
Yeah, he ain't hurting.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? But I think Bill O'Brien went about it the wrong way in trying to oust people. I was one of the first people to say that Rick Smith was gone because of Bill O'Brien. People cannot actually say anything bad about Rick Smith and the draft choices that he brought to Houston, Texas. Right.
And
can't say anything about
it. And if you think about it, as soon as Rick Smith was gone, guess what happened? Bill O'Brien traded away all our future draft picks.
Who Rick Smith actually drafted.
Right. And so, I mean, for the next head coach, I know we have an interim head coach, Romeo Cornell, but for the next guy in line, I mean, you don't really have much to work with as far as drafting in the future.
And not only that,
and you have an aging J.J. Watt. And maybe you can cook something up to get draft picks out of him, but, I mean, I'm sure he has a no-trade clause.
If I didn't know better, I don't know this 100%. But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, unless I'm betting on myself.
Oh, that's always 100% win.
Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But if I was a betting man, if I was like Ralph Cooper that you see down on the corner with those trying to get
shooting jacks.
Yeah,
shooting jacks, right? You throw it against the wall.
You're trying to get that ticket, that one lottery ticket. But I'm not gonna put the man business in the street. Okay. But if I was a betting man, I wouldn't have been surprised if a J.J. Watt move was being discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we heard about the big blow up, the big fight, the big argument, spewing expletives from what I was told. How true that is, I don't know. Then all of a sudden, you're gone. You're gone. Carlos Hyde should have still been here. DeAndre Hopkins should have still been here. Jadeveon Clowney should. It's no way you lose Dwayne Brown. Then you overpay for a guy, Tunzel, to take his place?
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst moves. A lot of people don't give O-line a lot of street cred and a lot of love, but to me, you replace one of your better offensive linemen with a guy who's maybe a little bit younger, but the skill is not the same.
But you're paying,
and you still paid him. They just did a contract extension with Tunzel.
Unbelievable. And because you pitched off with Dwayne Brown, because he had something to say about what the owner said, about the inmates running the prison, that should insult anybody of African American origin in the NFL. Yes, I said it. Because if I was a football player, yes, it would have offended me. And I'll say it again. So that's why you let the man go. Now Bill O'Brien is gone. He's like the wicked witch of the West on the Wizard of Oz. Ding dong, which is dead. Hopefully, which is dead. Remember that thing?
I mean, if you're Bill O'Brien, you got to hide away. You're probably living in a pod, one of those PODs. No windows. Shut the door. Put the lock on it. Just give me my food under the.
Yeah, he's getting out of town. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a job before the season is over. Not a head coach
somewhere like in front office behind the
I don't
Behind the
think nobody
camera.
wants him in the front office.
Really?
Then again, maybe this man has left such a stench. You ever heard that word before?
Yeah, stench.
A stench. You know, maybe this guy left such a stench that other teams like, hey, I don't want him in the front office. Now you get on that field with your notepad and try to teach somebody something, but I don't want you up here calling no shots, dog.
Right, yeah. Leave the paperwork to us.
Leave the paperwork to us, the people that's qualified to do it. Because apparently you don't know nothing about trade. Everything right now in professional sports is so complex. Making trades and stuff like that is nothing like they used to be. Because you got so many different variables involved, especially with how guys' contracts are structured.
Yeah.
You know, how the teams trying to get draft picks if you're trying to get better. Every team in a rebuild draft choice means something. We're just trying to get more comfortable, especially when you let a top guy go for a bag of Cheetos.
It weren't even good Cheetos. It was like an off-brand.
Yeah,
Cheetos
like the
too.
ones you get at the dollar store.
Right. It just literally says Cheetos.
You know, that you can't even taste them when you crack down on them,
Or
man.
they're super stale or out of date.
Yeah. I mean, what are you thinking, bro?
The type of Cheetos that the cashier doesn't care if you steal them because they're not worth anything anyways.
Right.
They've been sitting on the
I
shelf
don't know.
collecting dust.
I don't know. You remember the couple out in Arizona? Apparently, the baby took something from the dollar store and they got jacked up like they were Bunny and Clyde. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, I don't think the cashiers are like that anymore. After watching that, used to be back in the day, the guy steal something, bar, candy or something like that. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Now you steal a bar of candy, and hey, the SWAT team shows up. They ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
Candy has been stolen. Let's
Yeah.
go.
All the
Everybody
60
put your
cents.
stuff on.
Yeah. Put the shields on. Put the helmets on.
Man, that's crazy. What kind of world we're living in? I ain't trying to get off track, but I'm just going back to that statement you made about, hey, that the cashier don't care. I think they do. You got owners now. Somebody, guy 99 years old. Don't let anybody put a big deal in it.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody steal that out of my dollar store. That's what the Texans are going through right now. But they did win last year.
They start 0-4. It's kind of hard to buy into after that point. They had a couple of tough opponents, like we talked about. You opened up against the defending champs, the Kansas City Chiefs,
Right.
and you played back to back with the Baltimore Ravens, and then it was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a pretty good team. I think they're undefeated still, right?
Right.
So and then you finally got a win. So and now we're actually diving into our divisionals. Now we're going to play the Tennessee Titans. And I think this is a really important game. I think
This
whoever
is
wins,
a very important game.
I think whoever wins this game, this is kind of an early statement. Whoever wins this game, to me,
Because the reason I say that is Vikings. Whether it was the Oakland A's, or the New York Yankees, or the Houston Astros. Because you heard them talk about everybody. Now it's Brady against Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
Like they playing tennis.
And they put
Oh, he's 3-9. And I talk to people. When I'm talking to people I know, they will bring up this idiotic mindset. Well, he never he never won a Super Bowl. I'm like, I'm so tired of living in a world of dementia. Angel, sometimes I think I'm living in a world of dementia. Tell me what's the problem, bro?
I mean, I think the media does have a lot to play with it. I think they like to make these premier matchups. I mean, everybody likes these quarterbacks. I think, and honestly, I think another thing that ties into it is fantasy football too.
Right.
I mean, a lot of these younger people, the younger generation, they
That's what I'm talking about when I say they're trying to extract money.
Exactly, yeah. And then if you think about it, there's literally a show throughout the whole day talking about football. There's a show talking about fantasy football. There's a show talking about, different types of football.
They even got a segment on ESPN now.
Yeah, I mean, it's oversaturated to the point where even if you tune in, you're gonna hear about these quarterbacks. You're gonna know. I guarantee you, more people can list quarterbacks than they could 10 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, people know about backup quarterbacks even now.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I didn't have Kareem Hunt last week, but I think he'll be a good pick for you this week. Put him on your team. Are you kidding me, man?
He's a sleeper.
Yeah, he's a sleeper. What? sometimes I think I result back to my childhood and some of the conversations that me and my friends had when the Dallas Cowboys were getting ready to play the Minnesota Vikings. They didn't talk about, but for Alan Page, both in the Hall of Fame defense. That's what they would talk about Roger Staubach. How are they going to hold up against Alan Page and Carl Eller? All these people are top people in football. And they didn't get there by sitting at the bus stop, waiting for some punk.
That's the worst part.
I was hoping we didn't have to talk about Skip Bayless today, but you brought him up.
Wow.
Why are we bringing that up?
Right.
How do you use that to circumvent a point? Because
Well, he said it. I mean, it must be right? It's like, no, like the guy has an opinion. He's like everybody else. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's right just because he's on TV or television. You know, you can't, say, oh, no, trying to win an argument by this guy said it.
Right.
You know?
Now, if a lot of people are saying this, you know what I'm saying, on different shows throughout the day or throughout the week, now you kind of got something.
Mm-hmm.
But if one person, now come on. How are you going to talk football with a person that's highly educated and actually played the game and studied the game? How does that even make sense to me? Mm-hmm. How does that even make sense? You going off what? Because you wrote a couple of books about the Dallas Cowboys? Or they let you hang around in the
locker room? They hold the jock straps?
And you really think that book meant? I mean, if we went back and deciphered that book, how much of it would be true, or how much? Because if we really went and go, nah, that person is really going to.
I mean, I've seen it with you guys when we go out.
Right.
You guys can relate, but with some guy.
Ways to immediately begin boosting your immune system. Are you worried about the potentials of a second wave? Are you concerned now that your immune system may not be strong enough? Let me show you now the changes that will allow you to optimize it. Let me show you how to maximize your exercise benefits in a 12-minute routine that you'll do every other day to easily increase your metabolism, strengthen your respiratory and immune systems, and give you better circulation throughout your body. Listen, sugar feeds both bacteria and viruses. Let me show you ways to kick that sugar addiction now and to get some weight off. Let me share with you keys to better nutrition that boosts your immune system. We are all under too much stress, and stress weakens your immune system. It single-handedly leaves you vulnerable to all kinds of health issues and infections because stress reduces your immune cell numbers and their ability to function. Let me show you tools that you'll easily integrate into your daily life now to naturally reduce your stress cortisol response. I also want you to know about some nutritional supplements that have been shown to naturally improve your immune system and your overall health. Since January, there have been over 700 studies released worldwide on the relationship between COVID-19 and vitamin D3 deficiency. You need to know why. You want to improve your own immune defenses now? Want to take back your control? Sign up today for Beyond the Mask and join me as I give you information and tools to easily get you back on track towards a healthier overall immune system now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again, edgeradio.com. I am Stevie Ray. This is the world's most dangerous radio show, along with my main man, Mr. Angel Corona. Angel, when we left a few minutes ago, we were talking about a few things as it pertains to sports. But let's get down to the real nitty-gritty in this Houston city. The Charlos had a doubleheader a couple of weeks ago. Did you check it out?
Yeah, I mean, your boy, our boy Ronnie Shields, who's
well,
the
wait
head
a minute
trainer.
now. I got to stop you right there. Ronnie Shields is not my boy.
He's not your boy.
Right now, he's on contingency. Ronnie is on contingency until further notice, but you may finish.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie Shields' fighter, Jamal Charlo, looked really good. I mean, he made easy work of Rosario. I think he's really trying to petition himself for a big fight with Canelo Alvarez, which is another gray cloud with Canelo and all his situation over there. But even Jamel looked good too.
Yes.
I mean, the quote unquote loudmouth brother,
Right.
you know, he had the pay-per-view main event that night. And he actually pertained to be a big star. So it was a good fight for boxing. I just wish that a lot of people would have tuned in more. I think it's a weird time, kind of like we were talking about, to put on a pay-per-view card with someone not Canelo Alvarez. Because Canelo, he'll sell through a pandemic. He'll sell through a mosh pit. He'll sell through anything. You know,
especially if he got a good contender in front of him right now. He can't do the job matches right now, but I still think Canelo can do top guys right now. I would like to see, like we were talking earlier, I would like to see a Canelo go up against a Billy Joe Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would like to see that, man. I would like to see him go up against a Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight too.
I would like to see him go up against a Andre, or one of the Charlos. It's money out there to be made, but right now, boxing has turned into just like a lot of other sports now. You know, it's kind of like street racing at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna really pay attention to it.
You know, yeah.
I mean, but you think about it too. The Charlo pay-per-view was kind of a weird dynamic because people in boxing know that there's like 2 premier dates.
Right.
Really, it's Cinco de Mayo, and then somewhere in mid-September for Mexico Independence Days. Yeah, and that's your niche.
Day,
yeah.
Cinco de Mayo for the independent. For the independent fighter and the independent that situation, as far as the Hispanic fighter goes, you got to take advantage of those days.
Right.
You got to take advantage of it. And I think he was trying to. But because of certain situations, he's kind of in a quandary right now. But hopefully he'll make his way out of it because I'm a big Canelo fan. And
I was hearing something they might, before the whole suing episodes, that they were trying to line up something in December. Like early New Year's, late 2020. But after that,
which is a good time to fight.
Right, yeah.
At the end of the year. End of year fights really do good. Now, there is a fight coming up that's going to be held right here in Texas. Right here. For all them suckers out there that don't know, Errol Spence Jr., Danny Garcia, they have moved the fight to December the 5th in Cowboy Stadium.
Are they going to allow fans?
AT&T Stadium.
Are they allowing fans on this one? Because I heard rumbles that they were.
Look, if they got fans in to watch the losing Dallas Cowboys, okay?
That makes sense.
I mean, come on. If you got Errol Spence and you got Danny Garcia.
Man, that's a really good fight stylistically. You got 2 guys who are primed to be the next big superstar. I think Eubanks Jr. To me, he's gonna win and he's gonna be a really big star. I mean, Danny Garcia, he's been in the game for a while,
but he's been beaten every time he stepped
Exactly. Every time he's had like a big, I don't want to say payday or big pay-per-view type of event, he's lost. So maybe that lights a fire under him. But he's still a really good fighter. Him and his loudmouth dad.
Him and his loudmouth dad. He is a good fighter.
But yeah, I mean,
styles make fights sometimes.
Right? Yeah, and so we're gonna see two guys who are really game and 2 guys who are gonna put it on the line. I think Eubanks Jr. is the next star to be risen.
Well, this is the thing. Remember last year around this time, Errol Spence was driving his Ferrari with the top off.
Yeah,
I think he was coming from Hot Mama's strip club in Hot Wheels.
Yeah, 3-4 in the morning.
Yeah, that's the best time to leave. Now, who would know more about that than your boy?
Right, yeah.
No, I wouldn't know anything about that, man. You know, not in this city. In other cities, we can talk. In this city, man, I'm at home by 1 o'clock. You know, compared to the places I've been.
Right, yeah.
This is nothing. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. These are the stories I get into on my podcast. I can't do it on the radio show. But be that as it may, man, you're drunk. You're flying down the freeway.
Right, yeah.
With no cares. And the reason I'm talking about this, Angel, I've been there. As stupid as it may sound, but your boy ain't that stupid. But stupid nonetheless. There have been many times I'm in my 600 horsepower Corvette. No top. I got the top off because I want the wind to hit me in the face,
yeah.
baby.
Wake you up.
No, I ain't sleep. I just like for it to be. I just want to hear.
Yeah.
And I'm driving down the freeway.
Get all that glitter off you.
I'm driving down the freeway, man, or the Beltway. Got my foot in it, man.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about your boy. I'm no drinker. So I might have had a couple of beers or something like that. But I'm no drinker.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm not aware of my faculties. Or I'm driving 90 miles an hour when I try to go around a curve that's not banked like the Daytona track in Daytona. And the car flips and throws me out of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is my question. Ever since that accident, and I'm going to tell you, I've had things traumatizing. Not to that degree, but traumatizing nonetheless. And you know what's crazy about trauma? Sticks in your head, man. Physically, the human body can get over a lot of things.
Right.
Because that's just how God made you. Gave you two parents with great genetics. And that's what produces great athletes. So they heal quick. Reflexes come back. Those kind of things. That's just nature. But you know, the one most complex thing on God's green earth, your mind, the brain, can be injured and you don't even know it. Right when you think, I'm good, you're not good. That is why when traumatic things happen, they bring in people, like if it's a school or college or a place of work, they bring in people to talk with these people because you have been traumatized. Now, my question to you is this. Errol Spence, we all know how good he is physically. Since the trauma, the accident that could have ended his very existence on this planet, is the trauma still there? He hasn't had a tune-up fight.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's going in there right in the fire with Garcia. I mean,
and you're getting put out there against a top-notch hand. And I think we need to get Ronnie Shields on the phone to talk about this because I have given Ronnie Shields trauma on many occasions where he couldn't come back and do his job efficiently. We've seen that.
And you know what? Whatever Ronnie Shields says, whoever he picks, I'm going opposite. I'm going opposite, and I'm going to put some money on it because Ronnie Shields is always wrong when it comes to predictions. The man might know a thing or two about how to throw a jab and how to throw a hook, whatever. But as far as predictions goes, couldn't be more wrong.
Okay. We got to get Ronnie on. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get him on next week on the podcast. And you and I, okay?
Yeah.
You and I will tag team up on him once again, okay?
Yeah.
And we will show the world that Ronnie Shields is not as advanced
right.
when it comes to the boxing game and picking fights as he professed to be.
Correct.
But that's a whole nother ball game. Let's get back to Errol Spence. Are the scars there, brother?
I'm sure he has some type of like psychologist that's going to help him through it. But once you get in there and once you get hit, I think I want to see him get hit hard and see how he answers back. You know, it's weird to say because in training, I'm sure he has spar partners. I'm sure he has his headgear and whatnot. But to be pushed to deep waters and maybe you're kind of fuzzy and it kind of gives you a remembrance of what happened when you flipped your car. It might play a part in the fight, but we can't say nothing until something happens, until Danny Garcia lays a big right hand on him or something.
This might be the perfect.
Yeah, but
even after something like that, physically, you just it was a down period back all the way. Physically. Then there's a period of last year, September, October, November.
Edge, we bring them back from the edge, and we bring the unity. So we're just glad. Edge Radio Network, every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity, because here at Edge Radio Network, truth.
Everybody thought he lost the fight, and Pacquiao, bigger, better. I ain't coming down here to fight down here no more. I know he said that.
It was like
you
3 o'clock in the day.
When you could see his whole life change. I'm serious. Did you see that?
Yeah, he just like flashed by as a teen or playing 1 year in the college.
Right.
You have a lot of mileage on your body.
Yeah. But not only that, you got to realize how many times were the Lakers in the finals from the time Magic Johnson showed up.
A lot of games.
Until he get to the 90s, lived through. Man, but I know what I'm watching because I grew up at a different time when you see greatness in front of you, this might be the most gift. You know what? We're going to come back. We're going to examine this a little bit more. We're going to take a break right now. This is edgeradio.com. Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. We'll be right back.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. Your services.
This is former Rocket Robert Reed.
This is Mel Hewitt of Athletes United.
And we want to talk to you about our new program and podcast. We're talking about former athletes who are doing a lot of things in the community.
Various athletes in various sports. Swimming, track, soccer, football, baseball, you name it.
Former and current athletes here in the greater Houston area.
All promoting wellness, health. All promoting that which makes us all better.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So let me get this straight. This is